Well, you made it through the week. It is Friday.
That means it's time for you to tell 10.
How about cutting out TELL10 and putting on some news?
News 10 produces more than 30 hours of local news every week, and Tell 10 is your chance to let us know how we're doing, including the most dramatic live shot of the week.
That is when the men entered the business at the time.
This is my parking lot. I'm asking you to leave now.
Was that guy who walked in front of the camera and started coming down on Damani just being a fool, or what?
Masked gunmen robbed a Golden Corral restaurant. Police were on scene and armed suspects were still on the loose when the restaurant manager served up a side of himself.
Here, and the manager here is asking us to leave, as you can see. And so we'll obviously head.
What this person was doing to Damani and the cameraman out there, I felt as a viewer, should be a felony.
We're glad the story got on the air before the palm.
Dale Shornack, you were wrong, and you should have kept your mouth quiet because you had no right to impinge the manager when in fact your team, your channel, was breaking the law.
A parking lot is private and somewhat public. We were asked to leave, and we did. There's the proof. Moments later, Damani was live again from the public sidewalk. But we should all go easier on the manager. He was the victim of a crime that night.
This next trip to prison will be his third.
An inmate headed back to prison. He blames the system for why so many convicts get released but quickly end up back behind bars.
They get out of jail. They don't have nowhere to go. No housings, no jobs, no nothing. The system is failing all our young men. I've been a hard-working person my entire life, and I have no sympathy for people that expect someone else to continue to take care of them.
Last week, a caller complained that we overused the word obviously, and we found a way to stop it.
Obviously.
This week, a caller says there's something else we say too often.
There's two statements you guys make that just drive me crazy, and that's right now and coming up.
Coming up on News 10 at 11.
Right now, a youth pastor and...
I've heard some of them people say right now 3 or 4 times in the same little 2 sentences.
The caller spoke those words with such energy, he could be the new voice of News 10.
Coming up right now.
Nice. And we'll try not to overdo it. Thanks for letting us have a little fun on Tell 10.
I like you guys. I just thought I'd tell you. Bye.
It's Friday. Congratulations. You made it through the week. Now it's time for you to tell 10.
Call 10 has turned into bitch, bitch, bitch.
That's the name I suggested, but my bosses thought Tell 10 sounded better. Go figure. I did cram too many complaints into last week's Tell 10 because how many times do you want to hear?
Dale, you're number one.
And when we say something that doesn't sound right, call us on it.
Since the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, there have been 74 school shootings.
Has anyone bothered to fact check that number? That sounds awfully high.
CNN did a fact check and says the number is more like 15, but even 1 is too many. And we needed to tell you, the number 74 came from an anti-gun organization.
The following images that you're about to see are disturbing.
And with that warning, we showed dead geese on a highway.
Which I'm sure may have upset a number of kids or others who may have seen that video itself.
More callers were upset that we called them Canadian geese.
Those geese are Canada geese. There's no such thing as Canadian geese.
She's right, but we're going easy on the complaints this week. So we interrupt this program for station gratification.
I listen to you Tell 10 every Friday. I look forward to it.
This makeshift memorial continues to grow.
Would you guys quit using the term makeshift memorial? Does a memorial have to be organized?
These memorials are spontaneous and some of the most personal. There must be a better word than makeshift, and we'd love to hear your suggestions.
I'm shaking now. It's 142 degrees inside this car.
Great story about the reporter that sat in the car and it shot up to 140 degrees in 12 minutes. Holy cow. And then you showed a lady walking her dog in the sun. Those sidewalks get really, really hot, and it can actually burn the pads on the bottom of the dog's feet. But wait until it cools off a little bit.
Good advice, but did you see that wind?
I wish you would bolt down that camera that shakes every time the wind blows. Just go out there with a wrench or a screwdriver or whatever and bolt the camera down.
The camera is bolted down, but it's 300 feet up there, and on a windy day, the whole top of the tower shakes. But down here, this thing is solid. Thanks for the calls. And when you see something in the news that needs a good wrenching, tell 10.
We want to know what you think about anything in tonight's newscast. We want you to tell 10. The phone number is 916-321-3232. We always look forward to your calls.
Here is this week's Tell 10.
That doesn't make sense.
That's the time to tell 10.
The battle is far from over for one of our local races.
Why have all of the other elections been finalized, and yet the race between Barra and Ossie has not?
Thousands of ballots are still being validated and counted. A lot of races are on those ballots, but Barra-Ossie is the only one that's so close. Those uncounted ballots will decide the outcome. Voters are decidedly unhappy with how both of those candidates campaigned.
They were so childish and so ridiculous that they both made me sick to my stomach. I wish neither one could win. I'm really concerned about Proposition 47.
Prop 47 passed. Many nonviolent felonies will now be misdemeanors, and fewer criminals will go to jail.
There are people that are going to choose crime as a vocation.
I don't understand why the sheriffs are now talking about it, that it was voted in, when I feel they should have been talking about it before people voted on it.
Their voices might have been drowned out. Supporters of Prop 47 spent millions of dollars, but opponents raised far less on their campaign to try to defeat it.
Well, following the trend of opening earlier and earlier on Thanksgiving Day,
Best Buy plans to open at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Thank you for stuffing the message machine.
These stores that are open on Thanksgiving are getting totally ridiculous. All they are doing is being money hungry, and they really don't care about us people who have to work retail. People are usually given the option of working on those days, and some people choose to do it because they get time and a half.
Tell 10, not always politically correct, but we do need to correct something political.
Governor Brown's victory this past week has made him the oldest and the youngest governor in the state of California.
He was not the youngest governor. The youngest governor of California was J. Neely Johnson, so just wanted to let you know to straighten out your facts.
She's right. Jerry Brown was first sworn in when he was 36, one of our youngest governors. But the youngest governor is this guy, sworn in at the age of 30 in 1856.
Dang right, I was the youngest governor. Get it right, this is TV.
Yeah.
What the hell's TV?
Well, now, Jerry Brown is the oldest governor sworn in at the age of 72. But you were not a Republican or a Democrat.
True story. My political party was called Know Nothing. I bet in 150 years there hasn't been another Know Nothing politician elected in California.
J. Neely Johnson, everybody, California's youngest governor. More of your telephone calls next week on Tell 10.
What's a telephone?
Oh my goodness.
That's where you pick up the phone and give us a call. Let us know anything you feel and think about what you see on TV. 916-321-3232 on a telephone near you.
Dale Shornack.
Kids and marijuana, they go together, clearly.
He doesn't really mean that, of course, but here's the story that melted his Thin Mints.
Oh, did you hear about the Girl Scout who sold 117 boxes of cookies outside of the pot shop?
This girl is smart. She's business savvy. She's monopolizing this new market.
Kids and marijuana, they go together, clearly.
One Tell 10 caller lit up over a story about a student who tossed out his lunch, but it was the teacher who was suspended for making him eat it.
A fifth grader in California says his teacher made him eat a sandwich right out of the trash can.
Why don't you take your cameras down and show some pictures of the poor kids that have to eat food out of the dump because they have nothing else to eat, instead of showing the pictures of a spoiled brat being pampered by his folks and you guys.
I'm not aware of any kids eating out of a local dump, but if it's happening, we're on it, and that's a lead story.
Mayor, tell us about your emails.
Investigative reporter Tom Jensen exposed how the mayor of Stockton conducts city business in private, using personal email, but not revealing all of those messages as required by law.
Proving Silva didn't give us everything.
Could News 10 please stop their personal vendetta against the mayor of Stockton? We're not interested.
We do not have a personal vendetta against the mayor of Stockton. Tom's investigation was about making sure that elected leaders follow the open government laws. The carbon tax was another story that got viewers fuming this week.
California's gas prices could go up in 2015 by as much as 15 cents a gallon.
Carbon tax, huh? Well, get ready for your groceries to go up because it's delivered by a diesel-driven vehicle. And sooner or later, they're going to pass that loss on to us as consumers. Everybody in Alaska gets a check every year off the oil rights of that state. Give us, the people of California, a check from the money gotten back on the carbon tax.
Something in this last story didn't sound quite right to one TELL10 caller.
Their 3-year-old daughter, Tamara, suffers from a number of health issues. She was born 14 months premature.
They have a child that was born 14 months premature. I didn't do so well in biology class. However, I believe that a normal pregnancy is 9 months in duration. Did he mean 14 weeks premature?
Yes, he did. When you're rushing to beat a deadline, and he was, sometimes it's going to happen. But we'll start laboring on next week's edition as soon as you pick up the phone and tell 10.
All right, then. Good stuff, Dale. Tell us what you think about anything in our newscast. Well, it's your newscast, too. Pick up the phone. Call TELL10, 916-321-3232. Don't hold back. We want to know what's on your mind.